Yeah, this is Point Black, coming in all the cars, coming with the flow straight from the barrio, coming with that heat from the damn street, and coming with the facts to crack at them back. This is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we have to do. Now, today we see a lot of people up there, running their trapper job MD, especially McNulty up on 90.1. You know what I'm saying? I respect the fact that you have age and experience and many different things that you have going on per se of your mentality in which you eject in your show about the different political issues and so on. But when you back an individual and you speak in certain ways, I still see the old rhetoric and the old somewhat sly in the game. So if you're going to be on 90.1 and you're going to speak about Joe Biden, creepy, you know, move that bitch Biden, as if he's some kind of glory train that came down the track. You know what I mean? And at this point, we can say the old track. You know, same for Trump in more ways than one, but still is on the mid of over the top and going. But we have to look at the fact that even in the political realm and what we see going on, the decision of those people or the people that are elected or put into that position are there to do a job in all ways, in all ways. And they're not there to, you know, um, dictate over the course of the old rhetoric and the old bullshit because we could even show you, mad things that were going on probably here, saying it all over the world. We have to start to focus on what it's going to take in order for our country to have the strength, saying the tranquility, the peace, and a safe place of freedom for all people across the world. So when you're up on 90.1, the most dangerous station in the nation, that is what you should be displaying. Not a political siding of deciding for the people in your cast that you're going to project Donald Trump and attack Donald Trump at all times. As if like Biden was the most beautiful train coming down the shiny track. No, he wasn't. He was always casting scandal, garbage, and bullshit. It's just the way it is. And it's the same thing we could say for many other candidates, you know what I'm saying? Even Donald Trump. He have had his scandals and the bullshit. So we know that. But the problem with that is if you're not going to come up with a definitive decision, knowing that Joe Biden and his cronies and within, many of them have corrupted and done many things. And many candidates, like you said, Mr. McNulty, that they didn't go along or they're the Democrats that don't go along with the program. And then you're going to say something like this. Now, watch how he says this. And this, to me, is some bullshit if you're going to be speaking about your political candidate with respect. He said that maybe the reason why they disagreed with Joe Biden or the Democratic whole caucus and group and everything is because They may not have got enough money, or they may not have, been very wealthy. Okay, so that tells us right there, Mister McNulty of 90.1, WUSB or whatever. You know what I mean? That tells us right there that the con game was definitely on. So you know what I mean, and I shouldn't have to go no further. You know what I'm saying? But let's just start to look at things from a somewhat brighter perspective rather than all the intricals that we have seen in the past few days. You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to you say, it's supposed to um, unite the country. You know what I'm saying? But all I've ever seen the demon Democrats do, and many sometimes crooked Republicans as well, that have crossed party lines, or, over the years, and or those that have been there but still on the same corruptive side. Because you got to remember the Republican Party wasn't started in the greatest of people in itself. They had their scandals as well, and you can imagine some of those scandals. But at the same time, the Republican Party had been a catalyst in more ways than one for black people once it was created by black people and others. You know what I'm saying? So now, when we have that, we have what we call a Democratic Party, as well, that was probably before the Republican Party, and had its chance to rule and do the things that it do. And then once the Republican Party was, I guess, established and formed and growing and everything, they decided they're going to from the Union, split from the United States, and create Southern States of Confederacy. You know what I'm saying? But the problem with that is that really doesn't make any sense as to why you would do something like that, and then the whole entire time your hatred of black people and many other races that you have accumulated over your time to be deemed, you know, expendable and removed because we're no more than shit gum of the bottom of your shoe. You know what I'm saying? But when we look at that type of scenario, the question still remains is what did these people did to you that you would have a racist extremist, you would have a neo-Nazi, you would have a this group, a that group, and follow a philosophy that only requires you to be the only person on planet Earth and everybody else must be stomped out or killed off the planet and exterminated. That type of mentality really is terrorism. And it has nothing to do with the ideology in which you say that you're following. Because in your ideology, we must look at the scientific understanding that you yourself, in your victory, you feel that would be that tranquility of the white man marches on. You know what I'm saying? And the white man marches on. And all that good old stuff. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that will not be so. It will not be so. Because you have built that already, doing that across the planet Earth for many years. So the question would be, what makes a man or any man think of this and where did it come from? So let's go back and say we go back to the beginning of time where we have in itself the very thing that they follow. Like many of these neo have these type of religions and cultic mind frame, which is our religion in itself in the hands of the wrong anyway. But they have these situations where they create some form of ideology in order to project what they do, you see, in more ways than one. So when we look at the very uh, 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 mind frame of some of these people in itself, we wonder why they have so much animosity. Well, there's a various reason because that reason is based on the ideology of foolishness. Now, when we look at even the Genesis in the Bible, we look at in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? Now, that's not a way to even start something to explain something to somebody in the first place. This is how we know this is a story of some form or rewritten version of some form from wherever you've had the song from that you use it to create your song from, that you want to make sure that that song from goes to the people, and this is what the people follow. And if not, then you probably beat it into them brutality wise, much less talking about slavery in itself. But he says, in the beginning, he created the heavens and the earth. You know what I'm saying? And the earth, you know what I'm saying, was without form and without form, no, without void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. So that means there were no land. You know what I'm saying, in itself. And the Spirit of God, you know what I'm saying, was, hovering over the face of the water. You know what I'm saying? Then God said, let there be light. This is one of the most fabricated beginning of any type of mind frame speaking about creation or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That is a very poor existence of telling someone about creation in all ways. You don't have that type of mind frame because when you look at even that possibility, the very first thing you said out of it was God created. God created. You know what I'm saying? Now you telling them to seek out this, and throughout the Bible you tell them to seek out that and this name and that name and every other name in the world. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we have to look at the fact of everything in this world, like I said before, is not good light. And many people have these ideologies, and when they pick up these ideologies, the question still remains, where does it come from? Because you said in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You know what I'm saying? And it's without void and in darkness. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, that doesn't explain God before that verse in which you just have written in your versions of books. You know what I'm saying? That's a stupid and retarded beginning. And anyone was to follow that, you know what I'm saying, continuously, would be led astray very easily. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the easily that is being led away with the regular people in itself more ways than one is leading in a cultic way. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, it still does not explain before that statement that was just read from the Bible, from their Bible. It doesn't make any sense. God created the heaven and the earth just like that. No, the natural question would be for anyone, you know what I'm saying, would be, who's God? Well, God is Jehovah. Who's Jehovah? Tetragrammaton, yeah, probably from an alien race, but, and all types of nonsense. How does that explain what took place or what it is before? All of that you're talking about. So we know the Bible had to have been written at a specific time or been conscrupulated over time, not that long ago, you know what I'm saying, and handed down all the way through brutality, and many different other cultures and many different other religions and many different other groups and many other different spread off of genetical splits and genetical growth. You know what I'm saying? Because that will happen. You will have that, like many slave masters in the South used to get, the white woman, the mistresses, and the mistresses used to use them for pleasure, you know, because their husband was sitting up telling them they probably the queen and they probably the lovely this and they should not, no one should touch them because they're so fair and beauty and all kinds of lies. They tell him while, meanwhile he down there, saying with a black woman somewhere himself, saying beautiful as can be, they forcing and raping the goddess or whatever he called himself, doing having an extramarital affair, and this was going on. You even had gay slave masters that were gay and were, you know, having sex with the men. You know what I'm saying? Raping the men right on the ship. You know what I'm saying? Just choosing any one. You know what I'm saying? This gayism nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And then using that even as ways of breaking their mentality and so forth and so on. So there was many corruptions going on in many ways, and this didn't apply only to black slaves because there were other slaves as well, because slaves had become an economy. But the question still remains is though, out of it all, is where did this originate in the mind frame of men to do to men in itself when you said God created the heavens and the earth? Which God would allow that after coming from such a great creation to, all kinds of conflictual nonsense that would choose to destroy human life. So we know somewhere along the line that even when we look at many things that's going on in our government today, it just does not make any sense. And it's no more than a power struggle in more ways than one to keep the people occupied, such as we see when we look at Ukraine. Don't forget to keep your eyes on Ukraine and Russia. You know what I'm saying? That's a full reminder. We must look at that and stay focused on that as well. As even more important to stay on the focus of the Gaza Strip. We know that he's still over there murdering and killing the people, and know in his mind and heart that God gave him the power, that the world can only do for so much, but I'm still going to bomb these people and kill them anyway. And nobody can stop us because we're Israel, God's chosen people. Mm, that must who follow the Ten Commandments, I say, or the 22 confessions, which one? But if they're following that, then one of them says, thou shalt not kill. You know what I'm saying? One day, then they'll show you another chapter saying, lest he be trampled on, or whatever the case may be, and one must defend yourself, and so forth. You see, they're going to swing the narrative in their books in order to justify what they're doing. There is no other way to see it. You know what I mean? So they know that. But we must still fight on because the lives of the Palestinian people are still being lost. You know what I'm saying? And they're still being killed. And such as we see in Sudan and many parts of Africa, you know what I'm saying, that we don't see, you know what I'm saying, even going across to, South Africa, you know what I'm saying, up north, Ethiopia, you know what I'm saying, many other, Egypt, many other places, you know what I'm saying. They have been in Africa murdering and killing people for more than 100 years. You know what I'm saying? More than that, not just one group. All the European groups put together combined, even with Africans or Chemics or from Africa in itself, themselves. You know what I'm saying? So the question still remains is you wrote all these books and all these different things, and we're still asking the question, where did the mind frame come from that it became a legal economy in the minds of men to do this to men? And then you said that the Arabs, you know what I'm saying, even before the Europeans, the Arabs, like I told people many before, the first slave master, you know what I'm saying, of many were the Arabs. I don't know why people don't always seem to slide past that in itself. And he did it within a century, I think, of time, to even say one. So now you have even others and so on, and then the Europeans and all that. Where did the mind frame come from and the gallness of man to do this amongst men? And with the Arab with his dirty, filthy behind would do something like that in itself. You are no more, as I will always say, a goat herder, a dumbass, and you're full of shit. And you walk around here in America because you come over here, they give you all the bank loans and all these different things. And when a black person go up there, they give them a run around and tell them bring back this and bring back that, and everybody come back with a little bit come back and a business plan and a plan of the business, just to get a business loan in order to open up a chicken fry shop. But at the same time, you have an Arab boy. He comes over here, or Chinese, or any other race, and they walk into the bank and get it in no time. Had a business open within months or less. You come over here with your stock up shit and think anybody that bullshit with you. We're not in that with you. You know what I'm saying? Because we